I'm going to, well, rather than asking what the future portends, I'd like to reach back into the past. I'm going to ask a few questions about what eras you would choose and how you would live in those times. So I'd like to ask Mary Jane, maybe someone can fill in for her on this one. So you are the ruler of any nation or city-state in history. Tell us what time and place you would choose. And how would you stay in power and be an effective ruler? Would you rather be liked or feared?
The time period that came to my mind first was the era of Jane Austen, probably somewhere in England. Then you talked about being a ruler, and I stayed in England, but now I was the headmaster of Hogwarts. And I would be the ruler of Hogwarts. I'd also be somehow in my muggle life, if you guys don't know what a muggle is, it's basically a human who is not a wizard. So my muggle role in England, I would probably be the queen, and at night, I'm the headmaster of Hogwarts. And the way that I would stay in power is I would cast a few spells on people that I learned when I was back in school because I'm secretly a wizard, or what do they call it? Witch. I'm a witch. That doesn't sound as appealing. But I would be a witch. I'd also be the queen. And I'd have a lot of power, and I'd stay in power, and people wouldn't know that I was still in power because I'm also immortal, and I don't age.
Oh my gosh.
This is more of a fantasy, isn't it? Yeah. But I would definitely be the headmaster of Hogwarts. That is the title of power that I'd like to have.
For the next question, I'd like to select Aaron. Imagine you're single and looking to get hitched. What era would you look to find your dream husband or wife?
Thank you. No, imagine here. Let me start that over. Thank you, Usher. If I was single and looking for a wife, the era I would probably choose is the 70s. And the reason why I would choose the 70s because as a country, I feel like we got a lot more conscious of social issues. That was a time when, I mean, right after the titled Jesus movement of the 1960s, a lot of people spiritually, socially, emotionally just kind of woke up a little bit and actually challenged the constructs. And I know any woman who is going to marry me has to challenge me. She has to be able to think outside the box, be able to go from highs to lows. And I feel like there were a lot of groovy women in the 70s. You know what I mean? I mean, because if you think about it, that pretended the 80s, which pretended the 90s, which pretended, so I would have done that, and I would have found myself a nice, yeah, in the 70s, and I really would have really enjoyed it, and there were no inhibitions seemingly, so.
All right, Sarah, imagine you're living in the Middle Ages before the Industrial Revolution, and you can't bring your Northrop cubicle with you. You have to choose a vocation, a skilled craft or profession, like cobbler, glassblower, mason, anything of your choice. What would you choose?
What would my profession be in the Middle Ages? Well, what am I good at? Well, I'm a buyer at Northrop, so maybe I would have a little market and sell some food or barter somehow. I would have to negotiate, you know, someone has all I can visualize right now is Game of Thrones when Arya is like walking with those clams, and like maybe I would be that guy who'd be like, oh, I'll have those, and then be running a business on the side. But that would relate to Northrop Grumman. But outside, I would like to have like a trade. I would like to maybe make a sword or something out of Targaryen steel or whatever it is. But do something something like that, more of a trade than just a personality kind of thing. So, thank you.
Going to pick Atia. You're transported to a time before computers, smartphones, and even phones and airplanes. How would your social life differ? How would you pursue friendships and relationships differently without these tools?
Well, I think that would be really easy for me because technology is a blessing, but it's also a foe because it can get in the way of us just being one-on-one with people. So I would just do what I do, which is go and talk to people. Hey, how's it going? What's your name? Where are you from? Like I talked to a guy today in the elevator and we just said hello, got on the elevator. I said, hey, where do you work? And he's like, oh, on the 6th floor. Obviously, I knew that because I saw that he pressed 6. I said, I know, what department do you work in? And then he ended up telling me that he's actually here from the East Coast and he's here for a week. So I was like, oh, wow. Then we exchanged names. So just using opportunities to build, to converse and build relationships that way, just talking to people, and that's about it. Maybe I'd write some letters too, but I love to write my thoughts, but I don't write letters as much anymore. So maybe I would bring that skill back and use that some as well.
Wow. Imagine you're about to become a new father or mother, and you have the chance to raise your child anywhere, anytime you wouldn't want. Where would you choose and why?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. So where would I raise my newborn son or daughter? I would say, why not this era? This area has a lot of opportunities for us now and for the younger generation. I think it would be the perfect place, and maybe even this era in the United States, just because the United States has a lot more opportunities than other countries, especially from the background that I'm from. My parents came to America for a better life and building that life for my family and for us. So why would I not want that for my own children as well? And I think about if we were to live in a previous era, we might not have the tolerance level we have now. It needs improvement, yes, but imagine the tolerance level back then in the Middle Ages, or just, if you were to live in another country, it'd be different. So I think this era would be a good era.
Do we have time for more table topics?
We have one for Kyle.
One for Kyle.
I was waiting for mine.
Okay. Since we're at a group devoted to speaking well, if you could choose anybody in history to be your personal coach, your personal tutor on public speaking, who would you choose?
Any person in history?
Anyone you like.
Wow, that's a good question. I would say somebody. The only person I can think of that's a really good speaker right now. I think President Obama is a great speaker. Whether you agree with him on his politics or what he has to say or how he delivers his message, I think that's probably his greatest strength is how he presents himself, how he speaks. He's always cool, calm, collected, and we learned about his basketball move that he has to make a good point. But I would say him. You know, the other person, I would say I didn't see that movie, but there was that
King's Speech.
The King's Speech, exactly, about stuttering. I mean, that's something that I have, you know, kind of a problem with as well, as I kind of ramble and talk over myself. And so I'd like to see how he got over that. I'd like to maybe watch that movie. I should probably do that. And that's it. Yeah.
I'd like to return the speaking to Helen.
Thank you, Asher.